6:30, the conservation meeting for Tuesday, October 7th, 2025 at 6:30 PM in the McDonald Brown Conference Room is now open. And I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for August 19th.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so there's a new public hearing, which is gonna be 118 South Main Street for the request for determination for proposed commercial septic system upgrade and site grading.
I did leave the legal copy if you want to read that one in. Should be.
Oh, yeah. All right, so, under the Wetlands Protection Act, Chapter 131, Section 40 MGL, as amended, the West Bridgewater Wetlands Protection Bylaw and Rules and Regulations, the Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on October 7th, 2025, at 6:30 PM in the McDonald Brown Conference Room, 65 North Main Street, on a request for determination applicability at 118 South Main Street for a septic system upgrade. Okay, all set.
Hi, good evening. My name is Dave Clinic, Collins Civil Engineer Group. We're here for an RDA for the septic repair at 118 Ash Street. This is Kenwood Tire. Everybody knows what that is. So just to go over a little bit, this green line is the wetland delineation line. I believe it was done by Brookman Road. The orange line here is the 50 and the purple line here is the 100. So everything's going to be outside the 50-foot. We have Ash Street in between the wetlands and the site. So this part of the building flows into the Ash Street. And this, of course, that's the steep driveway that flows down. And this is pretty much a flat gravel area. So what we're going to propose is erosion control along this paved area, just so nothing goes into Ash Street while they're digging up and putting in the tank. The closest will be with the septic system is 81 feet. The town river is there, but it's way back on the other side near the golf course. It's well over 200 feet away. So really, it's just everything outside the 50. It's going to be a pump station. The pump will go into the gravel area, and this isn't really a mounted system. It's just pushing that slope over a little bit. And we have a nice buffer here of woods. Actually, it's kind of an invasive species, but there's a nice buffer there along the street before we hit Ash Street.
What's in there now? Is it a system or is it?
It's well, we got a pit right here.
Yeah,
And this pit is from the water table over here. This pit is about 2 feet above the water table.
Wow.
So it's got to be.
A vast improvement.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You're pumping it because of the perk?
Pumping it because of the outlet of the pipe here.
Yeah.
And by the time we get to the pump, we're already below where we need to pump it up to. It's only going to be about a foot or so that we're pumping up.
Okay.
I checked, the wetland lines are fine. I'm not recommending markers because there's really no place or no need to put them.
Right.
'Cause it's
We had
right
Ash Street between the wetlands and the.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that like we're gonna be somewhat in the middle of the back area there? Is that what it's gonna be for where they park the vehicles, or is it?
Yeah, they park their vehicles right in here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's way at the end of
Past
the
that
lot.
then, all right.
Yeah, it's past that. Yeah.
All right.
And what's there is like all that invasive
Yeah, it's pretty much knotweed already.
knotweed all over the place. So we're going to just knocking that out.
And then when you're just gonna cover it up?
Yeah,
And let it
we'll
just go
put-
back?
We'll roll and seed this area so nobody's parked over it.
Okay. I have no question.
Looks good. I mean, better improvement there, so, all right, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I'll
Aye.
entertain a motion to issue a -3 determination with condition.
The only condition's gonna be that the erosion control's in place before work starts.
Yep.
Which,
Okay. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, all set.
Hey, Dave.
Sit down and get back up in a minute.
Not today.
No? Well, you're gonna leave? Okay.
Yep.
All right, so we got a continued public hearing for 321, 323 Manley Street.
And they have sent a request to continue till our next meeting on the 21st, as they will be meeting with planning board on, I believe, the 20th.
And what project was that again?
That's the,
The one in the medical?
yeah, the medical,
Oh,
where there
yeah.
was a
Behind
disturbance of the wetlands
D'Angelo's.
already, so they gotta,
Behind D'Angelo's?
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Entertain a motion to continue to 1027.
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's 1021.
2027, my error typo on our.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Yep,
1021.
no, you said it right, continue to the 27th.
Yep,
Okay,
1021, sorry.
all right.
Okay, so next one is administration, John, Central for 6 Pleasant Street.
So, before John gives his, I just want to give a quick update. I have been out to the site today.
Yep.
Believe it looks like they do have some repair work that we knew they had to do after the last heavy rain. There was some scouring and where it cut through the grading.
Mhm.
But there is a truckload of loom that's been delivered. I had also notified the owner and the engineer that it looked like some of the elevations weren't quite matching the plan, and to have them check on those elevations, and that the scouring would need to be addressed. So I'm assuming that's what the loom pile's for. I'll
The
follow up on that
loom is
tomorrow.
going in the swale
Yeah, there's,
and seed it, or?
the seating's actually all up
Okay.
in the swale area,
All right.
except for the areas where there was some scouring, where it looks like the heavy rain
Oh,
channeled
okay,
it.
all right.
And so they gotta refill that, reseed that.
All right,
But there's also the northernmost edge of the swale, end of the swale is probably 20 feet or so. Looks like it's not quite deep enough, or one side of it needs to be a little bit raised up.
that's in the front.
Yep, the front.
Yeah, I looked at that too, and it's pretty flat, so,
Yeah, it doesn't have much of a
yeah.
swale to it.
And that's because of the stuff running off the driveway?
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
yep. I was there, they did scope all of the roof drains with a fiber optic camera, sneaked it through them all, had a light on it so you could see it go through it, and it went all the way the whole distance and came out as the design shows.
Even the one John mentioned?
Yep, all the roof drains from the very front edge of the garage, all the way around and through the back, and then they pulled it, and then we scoped from the other side down and through.
Did they have to redirect it?
And they
All-
were all connected,
All connected to go right up the
and all
back?
they go to the far right-hand side of the property,
Okay.
Towards the back?
towards the back, yep, down at the
Right.
far right, towards the end, and
And
then.
is there,
then it
is there like
empties.
one pipe, or is there?
There's one pipe,
Okay.
1 4-inch
Yeah.
drain pipe that it empties through.
And you can see that? Do you know where that pipe comes out? Can you see that?
You really can't,
Okay.
it's so far
Oh, okay.
opposite side of the property.
Oh, all right, okay. I didn't know if you happened
But
to
it's-
see it or not.
It's-
Okay,
It's
well,
all
that's good.
connected.
So the
There's-
plan
all
is to get them to,
The roof drain matches,
the
the
swale
swale, they
in the
still
front.
have, I think,
Yeah.
some work to do.
So, yeah, so basically it's the swale issue then, which needs to be, okay,
Yeah.
so. Yep. Anything to say about it?
Yeah, the swale definitely isn't deep enough. And I think like where the rocks is.
Right, where the scouring is on that side.
Yeah.
And that was part of what I asked him to address, where any of the scouring and the depth is deepened right along that edge to make sure that there's enough height so that it doesn't scour.
Okay.
Now, Tim, isn't that supposed to, the swale supposed to go all the way down to the back and then there to the right?
I went out today and measured, and the approved plans show it 60 feet from the back stone wall, and it's actually 50 feet, so they went further than the approved plan. Had it 60 and it had it,
Yeah.
the outflow was 25 feet from your property line, that matched. the bend was 10 feet, and the end of the riprap stone at the very end was 20 feet. That part matched, but they brought it 10 feet closer to that big tree that's there.
Yeah.
So it did come down a little bit further away from your property in their backyard to empty it out. And they have it, so the design angles it, so it doesn't go straight back, it just kind of sheds it across the back of their yard. So it's not, the potential for scouring any further down wouldn't happen, and it would direct it away from your side, going the opposite direction.
Okay. Because I'm concerned about snow too. You know, the snow, where it's not so deep, the swale, that, because I'm still in an area where that dirt is so lousy that I got left with when they dug it all up, you know what I'm saying? And,
Right, so that's why I asked to check the scouring so that there would be no erosion topping it to cause any of your open grounds to
right.
be eroded.
I mean, that should be taken care of. Seems like there should be no problem taking care
It
of.
should be an
What-
easy fix. And like I said, there was a pile of loom there this afternoon. I was there about 3:30.
Yeah.
Looks like it had been dumped during the day sometime. So I'll address that tomorrow with a phone call and an email and find out what their intent is for that.
They dumped it on the other side. I was kind of surprised.
Right, well, when that last rainstorm that we got the 2 inches in, there was
Yeah.
a puddling area
Oh,
over
okay.
there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But there's way more, looks like there's way more loom than they need to fill that puddling area.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they just, they knew they had to spread some out there and dumped it, knowing they're gonna have to move some to the other side to, instead of dumping it like they did the last time in the front yard and having to reseed the whole front yard again.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that
So-
should be done within a week's time, you think?
Right, I would,
Should be no problem with a week. Snow-wise, it should be all set by that time.
I'm guessing they may not be doing it tomorrow if we get rain again.
Yeah.
They'll probably wait until Thursday.
That's gonna
Friday.
be, well, put it this way, that'll be a tester right there. Because I'm supposed to get like an inch of rain.
Supposedly
See how that
about an
goes.
inch,
See if you can see like where water goes out on the other end with a
I was out there in a raincoat.
drain spouts.
Yeah, this is not supposed to be a 2-inch one, so
If
it
we
should.
Well, an
increase-
inch. It's still pretty good
We
though.
increase the swale in the front, now that you're still gonna get runoff to the back, or will the whole swale have to be?
No, if they,
That's
the pitch actually works. It's just the
where it
east
comes up
side
on
of the
other
swale
side?
just doesn't quite have enough. Once the erosion control sock is taken out, it's gonna be there's
That's
not
right.
much
That's what it-
elevation left.
That's what it looked like, yeah.
So they just need to get that elevation higher so that it,
Should that be left in, the sock, you think?
it could be, but it really doesn't serve any purpose, and it's,
It hasn't worked.
Well, I'm just saying, but the grass will go through it
Yeah.
to help more of a.
right, but
Binder.
if the natural swale can be built up, then you don't
Oh,
end up
okay, all right,
with.
yeah. Well, as long as they can build it up,
Right,
it's taking out of, okay, yeah. If they're gonna do that, then that's fine. I'm just.
right, I mean, it's basically the 4 to 6 inch sock height elevation that looks to be where the runoff comes over to. But it does, I mean, it hitches the right direction.
Mhm.
Um,
I don't know. I think they'd have a fire hose out there just to try all this stuff before. but-
Tomorrow, Drew.
Yeah. Well, see what happens and if
I mean,
you
they
addressed it.
Asked for an as-built or asked to do an as-built.
Have they said
So that's
anything
still-
about
That's
it?
why I'm sure they're still
Yeah.
working to make sure all of it
Have they
functions.
responded to any of what you said?
I just got that email the end of last week, so I sent it out, and then I saw the loom today.
Okay.
So I'm assuming they're trying to address the,
What was this picture, John?
I can't see.
The settled water?
I'm sorry, I can't see. Oh, that's where,
It's coming through
the rocks that they put,
The riprap, yeah.
yeah, that.
there's a stone check dam, like halfway down,
Right, for a run.
just to slow it down if it
Right.
comes really fast.
Right.
It's
And,
kind of like,
and it doesn't spill over.
Yeah.
And I think part of that, that's where one of the scouring spots were, on the other side of that fence.
Yeah,
There was a bunch of scouring that happened, so I'm,
okay.
Yeah, part of the water went one way and then part of the other
I
just
could
kind
see
of.
that, yeah.
Mhm.
So basically, they're not done. They've
No.
got They've got to finish.
but at least they've done what they've.
right, they got it
said
roughed
they were
in and
gonna
they
do, so
got it seeded, but
they just
it
gotta
hasn't
finish it up.
performed, it hasn't been completed to the design.
Okay.
Well, tomorrow will be a good test for
Yeah,
it.
we're gonna get some pretty good rain, so.
All right, anything else?
So for the purposes of, I guess, fleshing out the record, can I approach and share just a couple of printouts so that we can, with more specificity, address some of the concerns that Mr. Cintronelli had about that, just for the completeness of the record.
You just want to give us the pictures, that's all?
Well, then talk about them briefly.
Okay.
I think the review that Mr. Hay gave a moment ago covered it. Thank you, Mr. McCarthy, for putting out the image on the computer. It covered a similar issue.
That was John sent these pictures.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it typically your habit to have speakers stand, or do you mind if I speak with you?
Whatever.
So we had a chance to review the 8/12/25 letter from PGB Engineering, and one of the concerns we had with it was that it was silent as to the imported fill and whether that was as permeable as the existing fill in the soil designation, and that there may have been buried storm drains elsewhere on the site, and we just didn't know if there was a way to get them to add a comment about that, whether the storm drains had been checked out and either were filled or were adequate or in the right or the wrong place, just to supplement that opinion if that's possible. And whether the imported loam that you had discussed was of the same drainage capacity as the existing loam. The reason that I had circulated these pictures relates to the first two items of the stormwater permit, that to the maximum extent possible, water would be impounded on site, and relating to the structure and depth of the swale that was installed. As you mentioned, it's still an ongoing project, so they may have an opportunity to, widen it or make it deeper in certain places. But upon information and belief, in some places it's less than 3 inches deep instead of being the 12 that was stipulated. And while in many places it's 2 feet wide, in some places it's narrower than that. So before the certificate of completion is issued, we'd ask that the depth and overall width of the swale just be surveyed for finality, because we have some instances of water either welling up or being impounded, and we have concerns about the water moving over onto Mr. Cintronelli's property at 4 Crescent Street. The images I passed out a moment ago, they're not the greatest resolution because my printer is slowly dying an awkward death. But the first two just showed parts where the swale, if you're measuring it from the higher portion of the property where fill that had been added prior to the, I guess the applicant having sought permits, that area may be higher, but if you're measuring from what was the baseline of the original soil level, which I think is the level that permits would go off of for when you're creating the depth of the swale, it really isn't quite deep enough in some places, so the first two images are just showing areas where the swale doesn't meet the depth requirement. The third image is showing water welling up on the abutter side of the property under the fence. And 4 is showing the muddy conditions where all of that area of the soil is so inundated that it can't support a human's weight. If you go to the next page, it shows that if you were to put weight on it, it leaves an indentation. Or I guess, but 5 is just more of the 5 and 6 are water welling up, and then I guess we have to get until 8 to show the consistency of the soil. But these are some images I just wanted to have present to show after the September 25th storm event that had been discussed here, that we were asking for greater attention to the sufficiency of the swale to just prevent the intrusion of water onto his property. I won't recite too much about the taking of a tree, though I would like that, if possible, to be noted in the minutes, because it's still an issue that we have separately for them. Because the work had begun on the driveway and the clearing and grubbing of the site prior to them seeking a permit, my client wasn't afforded the opportunity to come in and ask for remediation or control the way the site was being developed. So he's still somewhat aggrieved by that, but it sounds like that may be a civil issue that he has to obtain separately. I just want it to be noted in the record that that hadn't been approved of or contemplated as part of the permitting process because it was taken before the permit had been sought. With regard to, I guess, the images 9 and 10, that was the condition where some of the land had been disturbed. I believe that the socks had been put in later, but that substantial fill had been added prior to it being classed at the level of later on site size disturbance that it had been. I didn't know if these appeared in the record as associated with the process, but just for it kind of all being in keeping with the conversation, I wanted to introduce it. But again, your update actually addressed many of the points that I thought were going to be more contested at the beginning of this, so I'm glad that you were able to go out to the site, both of you gentlemen, and take a look at it. But I think for now, we will probably wait to see what further action they take, and hopefully that we can keep the lines of communication open.
As for the depth of what the swale's supposed to be, is it on there? Should be on there.
Yeah, it's on the plan.
Everything is, so they gotta
right.
go by.
So that's why I had asked the design engineer to confirm and check
And
and make sure that they're constructing it properly,
Okay.
make sure that
does it?
to address that.
Yeah. Okay. And to this gentleman's point, do you know what the depths are supposed to be on drainage?
Yeah, it's supposed to be 12 inches deep, 2 feet wide, and a
From-
3-to-1 ratio.
From the normal soils or from the filled part?
Or
From the
back to
natural
front.
grade.
The grade.
From the natural grade?
May I approach? I,
Is that done by the natural grade or is it done from?
Yeah, no, I mean, the swell itself, it's supposed to be a minimum. I mean, it can be deeper if they
Yeah.
want to make it, but it has to be at least,
For your convenience, the exhibit I'm showing is a copy of the Outback Engineering Report that was approved on August
Right.
19th.
Mm-hmm.
And in the window on the side here, it
it's supposed to be a 2 feet wide with a 12-inch maximum depth.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Right, so that's right here. And if you'd like, you may.
Yep, we're all set, we got it all, thank you.
You got a 12-inch maximum depth, so you get no runoff to the back.
No, you just have to go
it-
down.
Yeah, it should
the hill.
crest
Yeah.
either side. It should capture all the water
Yeah.
from the lawn side down in.
See, I
And I do know for
actually,
the septic system, most of the soils that were brought in for that, there was a lot of fine sands
Yeah.
and sand,
Yeah.
crushed stone. They reused a lot of what was excavated to level off the area in the backyard that they flattened. The loam which actually seeded across it is a really fine sandy loam. It drains pretty good across the lawn.
actually, Tim, it's pretty, it's beautiful soil, it's black. It's because when they were digging it out last week, I noticed it's not really very sandy. On my side is naturally now,
Yeah.
but theirs it was so dark, I almost was gonna ask them, could you put some on my side? You
Yeah, I mean,
know,
it's not a
because
heavy
they were
clay.
taking it away.
You can't
Yeah.
really make a ball with it. It does.
So it does,
And I had
It's
someone.
not it's not like packing down like concrete. It actually
yeah, so it's,
has some, so I mean,
That would
Drainage.
lessen the runoff.
right.
yeah.
Should
But it-
lessen the runoff.
It should, but it's addressing the swale. And I do know, it looks, if I remember right, where the tree that was removed on your property,
Yeah,
it's right about where that stone,
not far from there.
not too far, which the area on your property was so disturbed by removing that tree that it has never had a chance to reestablish. And so that's why it's on your property so much softer and so much looser, because it's been disturbed and
Because some
torn.
volume also came out.
Right.
Well, they dug up,
Structure.
they went over like 7 feet too, so that didn't,
Right,
Yeah.
which,
that didn't help. It wasn't just a tree, it was a little bit of everything. And I had someone there the other day, an excavator who actually knows Peter and knows Jason, and he was gonna, his boss actually was gonna speak to them about why not just get this done for this guy. You know, I mean, if you do it according to the plans, it's gonna be right, you know what I mean? Because he noticed that part of the swale actually is coming back a little bit. he
You
said
don't want that.
Yeah, he noticed. He said, see, you could tell when the sun was out. He noticed. He said that part of it's actually coming back a little bit. He said so that he noticed that being a problem. So at least he was gonna at least talk to. They know the Verassos and they know the Jason. So hopefully,
Well, and then when this is all done too, you gotta figure, once the grass call comes in, that's gonna help with the water from not running so bad
yeah.
down the swale.
I mean, the other dilemma they had, there is one big maple tree right on the property line.
Yeah.
And when I met with Jason on site, I said, Peter on site, I said, if you could not have to take that tree down, I would appreciate it, and I'm thinking you would probably rather have that tree stay on the property line. But I said, if you have to dig into those roots a little bit, you're just taking one side on the top roots down. They bloomed and seeded over it, so I don't know how much or if they had to, but that might be the area that you're talking is backing up or holding some of the water.
No, it was further down actually. It
Oh, okay,
was-
down
it
on the
was-
corner?
It was down right before the corner. Yeah.
Okay, so then they might have already chiseled down enough so that right at that tree isn't
Do
going to
they
be
have a
affected.
reasonable time limit to come in and fix this, or?
I mean,
Because it took
they only-
forever to come out and
Right, I
do
mean,
that.
it's been 2 weeks in,
Yeah.
basically in place almost the 2 weeks that,
I'm
again, I'm
sure-
not sure what the pile of loom's for, whether that's, I'm assuming this to remediate the areas that need to be worked on.
Well, at
So
this
I
point,
think within the next week, by our next meeting, they should have,
at this point with the
This all
engineer and
fixed.
all that stuff, I don't think they're gonna wanna take it time just to,
yeah. I
we'll
mean,
get to it whenever and all that stuff. I
Well,
think
so
they wanna
I
get it
mean,
done. I mean,
get it
I do know before the rainstorm that we got the 2 inches of rain, they did come in and put down like a jute matting so that it would help. It was further down than where the driveway is. It's kind of at the end of the house, down that slope and around the corner, so that there wasn't as much erosion scouring there. So they definitely were trying to be proactive during that rainstorm.
I did have one last question relating to the driveway material. My client tells me that it's made of ground up asphalt. Is that accurate? I looked at the bylaw for the definition of permeable driveway versus impermeable. I guess how is the permeability measured? We wanted to make sure that it wouldn't later on be sealed or paved over with something that raised it above that permeability standard. If you put down used asphalt and compact it, then a couple of years later come back and just resurface it, that might transform it from permeable to an impermeable. And I didn't know if there was a monitoring mechanism or if there was a way to state explicitly that if it is later on, as a condition of certificate of completion, for example, that if it is later discovered that the driveway has been transformed into an impermeable surface, that the order shall require it to be resurfaced and made impermeable or some other draining structure, so that it doesn't cause undue diversion of water or something like that.
That's my biggest fear, because what happens when we have water, we got rain the other day, this was like the side of the driveway towards their house, and you wouldn't believe the water. It was incredible. It was like, so this was like the driveway, and the water was like, it went way, way out. It was just like sitting there, and eventually it was draining, but I mean, I can't imagine where that water would go, because they messed up the front yard a little when they did it. They built up the front and stuff like that, so it changed the grade. And I just kind of would like to ensure that is written somewhere or something.
did we
you know what I
still
mean?
tell them that it's not supposed to be?
Right, part of the order conditions for the driveway is that the gravel or reprocessed areas to remain
The way it is.
impermeable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it even permeable?
It,
Oh, yeah.
current, I know they're trying to change them, the state regs for reprocessed road grindings,
Yeah.
they consider it a gravel acceptable substance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know you can roll it and pack it, and it's pretty dense,
Yeah.
but it,
I just didn't want to have to come back again, and like in a few years, if someone comes in there.
and asphalt's the
Yeah,
whole
we
entire
never know, they
thing.
might just
Right.
don't want
It
it.
might
And that's why it would be part of the
special.
permanent conditions
It
to
would
match
be?
the plan set.
Oh, that's good, okay.
So,
You just hope that if they go to do it, that they check.
what we've got,
But what are the odds they never check?
so I
It gets
guess,
driven by enough that
Yeah.
if it goes and gets paved, then they're in violation of their,
um, so I guess what we'd be requesting is that as either a note or in addition to the certificate of completion would be an express statement that if the currently impermeable surface of this, uncompacted but still bituminous material is later found to have been compacted, that, the commission shall require them to, to remove that surface and reinstall a permeable surface.
I think that's something we could just do if we find that out later on down the road, right? Because it's already in the
Right, it's
conditions to
already-
leave the way it is, so if they do it, we can tell them
to remove it
to
and
remove it
restore
and put it back to the way it was. That's already all set.
That's
Yes.
already in the,
That's already documented and,
Well, I do see that, enforcement of this shall be, it's like number, 12.
unless you want to stand out there and tell the new owners 5 years down the road and say, you can stay there the whole time and say, no, you can't do that, you can't do that. 'cause you
Oh,
don't know.
believe me, I would.
But I know, but you don't know what's gonna happen. They could do it,
10, 15, 20 years down the road.
but they could do it over a
somebody else
weekend when you're
sold it
gone for
3
some
times.
way, some reason, on vacation. They could just do it and you come back to that.
That's just my biggest concern.
Well, you'll be there.
I don't wanna come back.
Well, yeah, you come back and we'll
But
have to.
we
let
do
them know.
write in, generally when we do the certificate of compliance, ongoing conditions,
Yeah,
which stay with the property, they get
Okay.
recorded
Yeah.
permanently. So,
Thanks.
again, it'll be matching the design plans that the ongoing conditions will be to maintain the swale, that it has to be inspected yearly. It has to stay impervious surface for the gravel driveway, which
We
will be
can't say-
ongoing conditions.
we can't say it
Go with the
won't.
property. They
it
don't-
won't happen, but
Right.
it's supposed to not
that's,
happen.
we run into those things all the time.
I know that you all have pretty broad discretion with regard to enforcement. I looked at 12, its language says, non-compliance with these conditions shall result in enforcement. But at the same time, I've got half a dozen wetland cases, and of those, 3 ultimately end up getting in Superior, whereas the rest end up kind of quietly working themselves out, because oftentimes town council can't be disturbed and there's a later workaround, but that tends to have a bit more churn. And it may be easier if the language is just very explicit about it. That might be the shortest way to a condition that everyone can be aware of and therefore comply with.
It's in there. I don't know which specific wording you want to put in.
It shall be, you see it everywhere. Is that, you're saying that's not sufficient?
Is there
don't think
a
that's-
suggestion we should
Just, so with regard to the enforcement saying that if it's made permeable, the commission reserves the right to, ask that it be resurfaced, or something that separates the general word of enforcement to what would specifically apply to the gravel surface.
Just because I don't have a lot of faith in
It sounds like a town council.
Yeah, we can look into the
Refer it over to.
There's a lot of things that aggravated me
language anyway.
over the years that people just do, and they bought houses
Yeah.
with the signs in the back, do not cross on conservation. And you just rip them out over the weekend and just mow and fill in, and then we find out 2 weeks, a month later, and they have to go back out there, put out the signs and replicate the area for what it is. So I'm not saying it can't happen.
I've seen whole basketball courts suddenly appear.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure at a closing, theoretically, an attorney would go over those.
But that's not.
But that doesn't happen.
Some attorneys just don't put that through. So it's in there, so if something does happen, we find out, somebody complains, we can have it. So it's all
And
taken
there's
care
at
of.
least stronger wording so that we can go after them to do it. It's not like you have to go through this whole public hearings to, after the fact. It's like a known fact that's been recorded with the property that
Yeah.
you have to meet these standards. And they're ongoing. It's not just until the project's done.
Well, it's like monitoring the swale. You'll monitor it, but.
Right, but it has to, part of it is
people
the roof, the roof drains and swale have to have an annual inspection.
Yeah.
So that's an ongoing condition that they're gonna have to make sure they're operating and they're in place.
And if they're not, we'll find out. So,
Well, It's a few extra words that technically don't enlarge the scope of what is required, but merely clarify it, but it would go a long way towards, you know, making the job of bringing it to other people's attention or preventing you know, if you arrive one day and you see a paver, you know, vehicle, and you say, this is the document that says it, it's an express condition, they may say, okay, well, we'll respect that. Whereas if it's a broad condition, say, oh, they're not going to, you know, bestir themselves. And you know, I've been on both sides of that kind of interaction. So it's hopefully a modest request, and it would make it, I think, easier. And just like good fences make good neighbors, clear conditions make it easier for everyone to operate under them.
So you'll make the request for that? I mean, I'm thinking town council would look at that, I suppose, and say, does this work for us, or
If that's the way you wanna go, you can bring that in front of them.
does that make sense, or?
Yes,
If not, what we have is usually pretty good for ourselves.
Yeah, if it's an
And all
ongoing
town.
condition that goes with the piece of property recorded
It
at the
goes-
registry of deeds.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
registered and
we
all that stuff, yeah.
Had good luck.
But if that's not good enough for you, feel free to do what you gotta do.
would it be acceptable to send the email with proposed language to Tim to forward to town council?
Yeah, send it
Because
to me.
I have his
and
email
get
already, I don't-
A decision if they,
That's what you wanna do, yeah?
And I don't think it would be a lot, like, it'd be a line, you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you, Mr. Ramsey.
Sounds good. Everything else, all set?
anything else?
I'm all set.
Okay, see how things go.
Hopefully they start soon.
Yeah.
And then see what tomorrow brings, see how it works.
I'll be curious
Well, how
to
many
see how
months?
the rain goes tomorrow.
How many months at a time? Okay, all right, so, well, I guess we'll see how it goes then.
And hopefully by our next meeting, they'll
Yeah.
have addressed the issues and
Yeah.
addressed the height of the swale to,
Yep. Sounds good. Thank you. All right, anything else? Signed documents?
documents to sign.
I gotta borrow your pen because I don't get mine.
I will let you know that the next meeting, the fish ladder project, the engineers and the designers for that would like to make a presentation if they can get all the engineering done in time. I gave them a deadline of this Friday, or not this Friday, the 16th, to have it to me so I can turn it around so you guys can look at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the permitting stage set of documents yet, but they just want your feedback before they go too far into it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm also working on getting some quotes to have some of our conservation land surveyed for trail work.
For trail.
For trail
oh,
work.
Good, excellent.
There's two pieces of property, one's on North Elm Street and the other's on South Elm Street, that the Open Space Committee would like to start doing work, putting trails or re-putting the trails in that were there.
Mhm.
And we found grant money to help do that, but we have to have the property line bounds done so we know exactly where it is. And once that's done, then we can apply for funds.
Mhm.
So,
Everything done with the sidewalks on River Street,
and rumor has it Friday they will be completed
except for, are they
this
gonna
week.
put up a thing along from the bridge to Metcalf's? Are they putting up like a little,
Yeah, there's some benches going in and some,
they're gonna be like any back, like.
right, there'll be some
fen-
railing and
Railing, yeah.
fences going in, but that actually might be done by the end of this week, depending on the weather.
Okay.
I will tell you, there were two change orders. They added 2 catch basins
I saw that.
that just got put in today at the end closest to Charles Street to take
Yeah.
care of the flooding and ponding that happens.
Which is nice.
So that was a very good add-on.
Mhm.
They also added a cut in the curbing for the entrance area to the property on the corner of South
Billy's.
Elm and River Street
Billy's.
for the driveway entrance that was put in I'm gonna say it out loud and I'll probably be in trouble, but without any permitting. It comes right out on a corner.
Yeah.
Which is probably not the smartest place to put a driveway or the safest, but it's there. And if it ever gets paved, they'll have to do some work on it further than what they did, but at least at this point, it's there. And that was the other change. But everything else looks good, and it's coming together nicely.
It does look good, yeah.
And people are using it already, even with it not being completed.
Saw a family walking the other day down that way.
Saw it the other day, and then I saw it tonight. Some guy walking.
Saturday, I
his
saw
dog.
5 or 6, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll be using it, so.
All right.
Anything to say, Steve?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have a good night, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks,